Hello, and welcome to the We Should Move Here Travels podcast. My name is Brittany,
I'm Josh.
and we are your hosts. Today, we are going to do a quick check in of how the pod's going, how we're both feeling about it, and maybe things that we want to change or things that we've learned. We're just going to talk today.
Yeah. Kind of like a podcast.
Yeah.
Oh, man. How do you think the pod is going?
I think that traveling the world has been such a gift, and we have learned so much. We have also not learned enough in the same sentence, I think,
Hmm.
because everywhere we go, we learn new things. And I just want to keep learning. I want to keep growing. I want to keep exploring. I just want to keep doing it.
Mm-hmm.
How do you feel?
I feel good. I was going to ask, is that more travel that's teaching you or the pod or both?
I think both.
Mm.
Like traveling the world is always going to teach you, right? But the pod as well. I've never done anything like with an audience.
Mhm.
I mean, I guess I have. I've done like plays and stuff like that, but this is just very different. It's social media, and sometimes things on social media can feel really uneasy.
Mhm.
I'm sure everybody can relate to that. And it feels almost like dystopian in some ways that this is our reality right now. I think both of them are teaching me so much. What about you?
Yeah, I agree with the traveling bit and the podcast bit teaching us so much.
Yeah.
It is such a unique balance of our relationship, of getting work done, of still being connected with each other, that is sometimes extremely easy and then other times a little more difficult because of constantly working on this podcast. And so just evolving in our relationship that way
Mm-hmm.
is something that the pod teaches us.
Yeah, I agree. I think that the pod has really strengthened our relationship in some ways,
Mm-hmm.
and in others, it's thrown some challenges in
For
that
sure.
we've never experienced before.
Right.
We're learning a balance between like our own independence and how we need to do things on our own. Hence why I'm going to Portugal by myself. So we're finding that balance between, that independence and also that connection with each other. So I feel like it's different for everyone. And it's hard to find a balance when you're working together.
Mm-hmm.
But I also think that it's been really special and it's taught us a lot about our relationship. So
And just taught each other so much more about ourselves and all of these new experiences we've had just in 6-7 months.
yeah.
I think we're really fortunate that we've been able to choose to do as much traveling as we have and have all those new experiences, because maybe in a more common relationship, it might take several more years to have those new or different experiences.
Yeah.
Just in my opinion, but who knows? That could be completely different because we don't have kids, and that's definitely a new experience with new challenges every single day.
Yeah.
So someone listening could be like, try having a kid in
Yeah.
your 20s or 30s and tell me it's not a new challenge.
No, thank you.
No, not the kind of new experiences I'm looking for. New experience I want is a different spice on a fish, or a pasta, or a different coastline to see, a new hike, something like that. Those are the kinds of experiences I want right now.
Yeah, same. We're on the same page for that.
That's good. So the podcast has taught us those things.
Yeah.
As far as logistically how the podcast is going, for what we set out to do and kind of what I had in mind for our first year of a podcast, I think we've done great. The ceiling of what we want to do is, do some episodes and it just blow up and
Mm.
people want to sponsor us or pay us for the podcast, all that stuff has not happened. We're still extremely small. We're not getting paid to do this. We're doing it out of our own pockets, and we do it because we're passionate about it.
Absolutely. This is a passion project,
Mhm.
and that's kind of how I've been looking at it for the past couple of months, I would
Yeah.
say. It feels like a passion project versus work. Sometimes it does feel like work, especially when we are like on crunch time trying to get an episode out and we're lollygagging and procrastinating, and that's on both of us. But when that feels like work, I think we just get it done and then we get back into a routine and it starts to feel more like a passion project again.
Yeah.
I think though, because we're not getting paid, we obviously like got to talk about like finances.
Mhm.
I think you shared how we came to be able to do this
Yeah.
in a previous episode. And we've been talking a lot about like how we want to keep the podcast going.
Mhm.
And I think it's really time for both of us to start making some money. So we're both going to try and get some part time jobs coming up here and things that we can control and be flexible on. So we can still go travel and we can still do the things that we want to do, but work a couple days a week as well when we're home. That just makes sense to do it like that.
And again, we're extremely fortunate to be in the position that we are,
Yeah.
to be in a stable place where we have a home and we don't have to worry about rent fluctuating, stuff like that.
Yeah.
You have a degree, which gives you the opportunity to go into lots of places and get a job pretty decently paying. Me, I feel like I can do lots of different things. If we wanted to just keep on running on savings for a while, we could. But for us wanting to stretch that out as far as we can,
Yeah.
getting part-time jobs so we can stretch our runway and keep doing this as a passion project. And who knows, maybe at some point make, some money out of it would be great. Maybe work with some people, meet some people.
Yeah.
I think the passion project portion of this podcast is when I feel most like in a flow state. When I
Mhm.
come into a recording and I'm just ready to talk about like a trip.
Oh my God, me too. I love
Mhm,
that.
mhm,
Especially when it's like a trip that we loved or we're so excited about going on. Like
mhm.
I'm so excited about Portugal. Like I can't stop thinking about it. I was researching last night like foodie spots that we need to go to and I'm
Yep.
just I'm so excited.
Yes. Had to watch all those TikToks. I'm excited for us to go on this next one. But we gotta save some of that for in the next couple weeks when we have a Portugal episode.
Yeah, we have I think 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 more episodes until we get to our pre-Portugal episode.
Mhm.
So we got quite a ways, but I'm still so excited, okay?
It definitely has made me wanna go to a lot more places that I haven't thought about.
Mm, like where?
Like, South America is definitely a place I wanna go, and it's just not a place until the podcast that I really gave a ton of thought.
Yeah.
I mean, I definitely had. I was like, "Oh, I could go there." But starting this podcast, I'm like, "Oh, yeah,
Where would you wanna go in South America?
Colombia for sure."
Yeah. I think for me, I'm a bit naive when it comes to travel in South America, I guess. And I would say I'm a bit ignorant on it because I
Mm,
don't have enough knowledge about traveling to South America, but I think there's definitely spots that are safe and there are spots that are unsafe just like anywhere.
yeah.
So I think we would just have to do a lot of research, but I'm totally open to it.
Yeah, I think we can go lots of places and explore and be happy, be safe doing it, and maybe potentially move to a new place in the future.
Mhm.
With that being said, are there any things that you want to change moving forward with the podcast?
I've thought about doing biweekly episodes, but I don't think we're there yet.
Mhm.
I think we can continue weekly episodes and come back to it.
Mhm.
If it becomes too much with like part time jobs and all of that, then we'll probably switch to biweekly, but it just depends. It's kind of up in the air.
Right.
What about you?
Yeah. I'm pretty happy where things are. Like we just said, we work on and I struggle with the timeline aspect sometimes because I'm very type B and it's like, oh, it'll get done when it gets done. And that always doesn't work.
Yeah.
It doesn't always work in a non-stressful manner. I'm type B until it's you procrastinate far enough, and then we're both stressed out, and it doesn't help anyone. Um, so things would change would be me changing. Kind of blur the lines between type A and type B. But yeah, I agree that we can continue weekly podcasts. No problem. I think this podcast, because it's a passion project, we can continually evolve the podcast
Mm.
to what we wanna talk about, maybe what other people wanna hear,
Yeah.
and, I mean, we've seen some increase in listeners on some episodes versus others, as far as what we consider a good amount of listeners on an episode, so maybe just seeing what the people want and going with
Yeah.
that. I think for what I would wanna change for the podcast or just our lives would be to travel as much as possible and just being able to do that freely. Can't do that. There are life things that we have to care about. We got our cats that we got to care about. We got a house. We got
Yeah.
the bills to pay like everyone.
And, I think there are grants and things that we could apply for
Mhm.
to help sustain this podcast as well. So I think we're at the point where, this is episode 35, and we have enough content out there for people or companies or whoever, for someone to look at our stuff and be like, well, this is good content or this is bad content, right? So
Mhm.
we have enough out there, I think, to be able to start applying for those things. So I think we just do it. We just apply for some and see where it takes us.
I think there's always positions or companies wanting people to go places and try things. And
Hmm.
with our time freedom that we have, we might fit into some of those that other people might not be able to. So,
Yeah. Yeah. It definitely could be an adjustment because if we're, working for sponsorships,
mhm,
it's going to change how we do the pod, maybe, or how we talk about the places that we go to, or how we create the reels or TikToks or whatever on social media. So
mhm.
I think it would change a lot, but I also think like we're open to that. So
Yeah, I think as long as we continue to get to travel and explore, that fits what we want. It's
that's what we need.
what we need.
We need it
Cr
in life.
I crave it. What have you learned so far in the 35 episodes?
Oh my gosh. I can't believe we're on episode 35. That's so wild to me.
Mhm,
I've learned quite a few things. I've learned that we can do hard things. And sometimes this podcast is hard. Sometimes the adventures that we take is hard. Sometimes just life is hard, right? But we can do hard things. And I think we're better at doing those hard things together. I've also learned that it really isn't about the followers for me or the listeners. In the beginning, I was really focused on how many likes are we going to get? How many listeners are we getting? I was like really determined to get a lot of listeners, and I kept getting let down because we're still babies, we're still new, and not everybody is listening, right? Which is
mhm.
totally fine. And I think for me at this point, looking at it as a passion project has shifted my mindset of like, this isn't something that we have to do, but something that we want to do.
Mhm.
So it really is like our passion in our lives. Another thing I've learned is being flexible and adaptable is so important when you're traveling. It's okay if your flight gets delayed. You're going to be fine. You're in an airport. Nothing bad is going to happen. Try and sleep it off. You're not gonna, but try. Um, yeah. I never used to be an adaptable person, but I feel like I've grown a lot in that sense. So,
I think traveling does that a lot as well.
yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah. What about for you? What have you learned?
Depends the topic as far as the podcast and the potential of living in a different country or living just somewhere else. I think there are so many things that I have seen in other places that I just constantly think, oh man, I wish we had that. Like I
Mm,
want that in a community. I want that in a place. And I've also seen a lot in the United States where people are constantly working just out of the goodness of their hearts to improve their community, improve the society around them, try to make things better for other people.
yeah.
That's something that you often see in other countries as well. And it's like I think the goodness is here to make a lot of those things happen.
Mm,
Just whether or not some of the things that we look for, like, universal healthcare or public transportation or universal schooling,
yeah.
lots of that stuff, whether that'll happen in our lifetime, who knows?
I hear you saying that there's like a push and pull for seeing the good here
Mhm.
where we're at.
Yeah.
It would make sense that being away from home and looking at all of the good in other places and wanting that to be where you live, it makes sense that you would start noticing those things
Mhm.
and those people in our community.
When you're in other countries and you see those things you want, and then you come here and you look, you're like, why don't we have those things? And you look around, and there are people who are trying to make those a reality
Mhm.
that have that hope that that could happen. And that's inspiring. And it makes me feel like, the United States could be, Wisconsin still could be the place that we live forever.
It could.
It
Yeah.
could. I still want to visit every single country I can. And if we happen to come across a place that we're like, "Oh, this is it." It would take shifts in universal timelines to make United States or Wisconsin anything like this. Then I might be like, "Oh, this is a place." But just like you, being adaptable. I can see ourselves just purely adapting and, of course, being happy in Wisconsin. We got family, we got friends. There's a lot of great things about Wisconsin, and I think I've learned that no place is perfect.
Yeah.
Just depends what you want, and there are some things that I would like to have in other places. And it's difficult, but there's nothing to say that we couldn't live in a different country and then move back, or for a little bit of time live in a different country and move back, something like that.
Yeah, which is very much a possibility.
Mhm.
I think that we are, again, in a very privileged position where if we found a country where we would want to do that and the visa requirements would work out, we would be able to do that,
Mhm.
right? I think if we don't, we might look back and regret it.
Hmm.
So that's one of my fears is like, I don't want to be 80 on my porch in Wisconsin being like, I wish I would have lived somewhere else in
Mhm.
my life and never have done it, you know?
Yeah.
Like I don't want to think that.
Yeah.
So I think that's what kind of pushed us to do this pod in the first place.
Mhm.
We've talked a lot about getting older and what we want out of our lives. And the conversation has always came back to traveling.
Mhm.
So that's what sparked this pod. And if this turns into like us living somewhere for a year or whatever and then coming back, like we could maybe make that a possibility.
Mhm.
And I think in some ways I'm like feeling pushed that we should
Mhm.
because that would make sense.
Yeah.
And if we lived somewhere like, say, in Europe, we could easily travel to so many freaking countries
Mhm.
from there.
Yeah, it's definitely something I've looked into quite a bit with the aspect of visas. I've thought about, continuing education in Europe, and that's something that visas could definitely do for us is give us the opportunity to live in Europe or live somewhere in Europe for past the typical 90 days.
Yeah.
And so that would be an easy way to do it. Or not easy, but that would be a way to do it that wouldn't be as difficult as moving there full time right away.
Would I be able to come with you? Say, like, you went back to school?
Hmm.
Because I don't think I'm ready to go back. I don't think I want to.
Yeah, spousal
At the-
exemptions. Hmm.
Mm.
Yep. Or family. But
So we have to be married for that?
there are ways to do it without being legally married wherever you come from.
Mm.
Because not every type of marriage is legally recognized in that place.
Yeah.
So as long as you can prove in some sort of way that you've been together with your partner or you've lived together for a certain amount of time, they can recognize that and use a spousal exemption or a family member exemption to have you both come on this visa.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Well, interesting.
Mhm.
Well, we do have our wedding coming up in 2027. So,
Yes, there is that as well.
which I have been obsessing about as well. So, literally so excited.
Yeah.
There might be some social media posts about it. I might like make some posts about our venue, about like what we choose to do, about Minnesota, which is where it's going to be. So we might do an episode about Minnesota as well.
Mhm.
Yeah, might get some different content out there.
Yeah. A travel lifestyle podcast.
Yeah, I think we both have learned so much. It's hard to condense everything that we've learned into this one episode. It really is. And it's hard to think of everything that we've learned too, but I know that we've learned things that we're not thinking about right now.
I mean, we've learned so much about just traveling as well.
Yeah.
Like I've thought in the past, like I'm an efficient packer. I can pack efficiently. And I still pack half my crap that I don't use.
Honestly, same. I'm going to do better on Portugal. I know I've said that before, but I am going to do better. And we're going to be efficient, efficiently packing things that I will wear, use, things I will wear slash use. Usually it's my clothes. I'm such an overpacker.
I mean, that's what I am too. I just think, oh, I'm going to wear so many shorts and so many pants. And the reality is it's one or the other. And sometimes it's weather. You can't always predict the weather or what it's going to feel like in a different country.
Yeah.
Like in New Zealand, when we went recently, it might have said it was 70 degrees, but because of the UV, how strong it was, it felt so much
It
warmer.
was like 90.
Yeah. Never, never felt the need to wear pants only for the reason to protect yourself from getting burned.
Yeah. Well, I think in Queenstown it was cooler.
Right. And that's the other thing. It's like, oh, Queenstown, it says it's 70. In the shade, it feels like 40.
Yeah.
And then you stand out in the sun for a couple minutes, as long as it's not windy, it's 100.
Yeah. No, it's a wild difference there. I loved it there though.
Mhm.
Anyways.
But yeah, like you said, there are so many different things. Packing's one thing, still learning about. Finding flight deals is something that we've learned that everyone can use on. And we've talked about before is planning around prices of flights and not planning around already picked vacation times.
Mhm.
If you can do that, you're not always allowed to, but if you can, find the cheap flights first and then
Yeah.
make sure you can get the time off. Doing bed and breakfasts in Ireland.
Oh my gosh.
Huge win.
Bed
Huge
and
win.
breakfast, that has been a thing that we've been on kind of a kick about because we did that on the East Coast trip and then
Mhm.
we did that in Ireland. It feels like it's important for us to help support local businesses when we travel.
Mhm.
Like, we don't want to shop at the big box stores when we're traveling. Not that there are any really in Ireland. We were really looking at how can we support the local business community
Right.
while we're there.
Right.
I think we're being more intentional about those things.
Mhm. That's something that we've learned from traveling is being more intentional as well.
Yeah. So, we are going to be talking in the next couple episodes about other topics other than where we have been or where we're going. They might be a little bit different than our typical episodes. Hopefully, we have fun with them.
We will.
Next episode, we'll be talking about both of our top 5 dream travel destinations. So, we're each going to pick out our dream travel destinations. This won't involve where we want to live, but where we want to travel to,
Yeah.
which sometimes is the same, sometimes is different. I
Mhm.
guess we'll talk about it.
Yeah.
Don't forget to like, subscribe, and follow on TikTok, Instagram, and YouTube at WSMH Travels.
You can listen to our podcast on Apple, Spotify, and YouTube. YouTube is where we have our video record version, including pictures and videos from our trip. Please continue to leave your comments and send us messages on what you liked from our trips and suggestions for future trips. We really appreciate it.
Thank you so much for listening. Until next time.